we got to do something about these experiments. They be going horribly wrong. I'm gonna say, we're gonna see if I don't need an alarm clock. But, you know, I'm trying to finish watching Luke Cage, and I see if you're going to do something, you got to stay regular at it. So I have to keep my regular bedtime when I don't sleep with an alarm. So I woke up, and the dream that woke me up was, Brother Hatim, you running late. That was the dream that woke me up. So I'm like, damn. So I jumped up out of bed. So we got to get this toast on. I'm still on my 21-day challenge, and I still have to do my workout, get ready for work, get my girls ready. But hey, it goes down here, you know. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame. And some of the experiments that I run, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing this so I can tell y'all that it works or not. I have been able to get out without my alarm clock, but today it failed. So we will have an alarm clock on from here on out. So, you know, family, I need to let you know you are now rocking with the best. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Word. This is a Heart of December production. And, of course, you know this is a Daily Toast. Well, we strive to blow up those old paradigms. Grab your glass, you know what it is, you know what it is, you know what it is.
Mr. Diddy.
Man, still got the morning voice, but drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, lift your glass and drink some water, but take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink, breathe. Drink, breathe. Now, lift your glass and drink some water. Fill your glass, drink some water. Press your glass and drink some water. Just drink some water. Drink, live. Drink, curl. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body. Move, drink. Move, sit. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass. Drink. Now take your breath and drink some water. Lift your glass and sip some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Drink. My fault. Breathe, live, move, toast. Take your breath. Lift your glass. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Drink. have to keep. I want to thank y'all for joining me this morning. Anyway, family, I have found a way to get the shirts down, so I will be taking down that price that I have and raising up the new price. I just have to work out some details because I got to design the shirt. And thanks to Sister Navita, we're going to be able to get these out real soon. Not only are we going to be able to get the Daily Toaster shirts out, we're going to be able to get the Gye-Nyame Journey shirts out. We're going to be able to get the hats out. Hell, I might be able to get some damn plates. But hey, I'm just saying. So, now, before we get into the toast, I want to let y'all know that tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family, we will be having our family discussion around the modern fire pit, which is the internet, and we will be moving to the next story. And the name of the story is The Dogs and the Hides. All right? Remember, this is old school language. The Dogs and the Hides. Some dogs, famished with hunger, saw a number of cowhides steeping in a river. Not being able to reach them, they agreed to drink up the river, but it happened that they burst themselves with drinking long before they reached the hides. And the moral is attempt, not impossibilities, right? Some dog famished with hunger saw a number of cowhides steeping in a river. Not being able to reach them, they arranged to drink up the river, but it happened that they burst themselves with drinking long before they reached the hides. All right? Attempt, not impossibilities. Okay? So, that's the story tonight. We're gonna chop that up. I think Brother Anubis is in the house as well. So we got CeeLo, we got Sister Navita, we got Brother Kwame, and I think piloting Gye-Nyame Journey, we got Brother Anubis. All right, so let's go and drink our water. Today, what are we on today? Today is Kujichagulia. This is my day. Kujichagulia, right? So, we have self-determination, for those that don't speak the language. It is the demonic principle of justice is rolling out today. The color is a dark blue, also known as indigo, almost like a midnight blue, beautiful blue. The Hermetic law is correspondence. The male name is Kwabena. Hey, that's me. Hey, toast to all you Kwabenas out there. And female name, Abina, which is Gina. Salute to all you female Kujichagulia wielders, right? For the Emotional Emancipation Circle, African Center Cultural Virtue and Value System, today in Wolof, the cultural virtue is Kursa, which means self-respect and respect for others. So I'm assuming Anubis is a Kwabena. Who's piloting Gye-Nyame Journey today? Self-respect and respect for others, which is Kursa. Generosity and beneficence is a Khan ethics of the day. And if Farabali, calmness. All right? And with these cultural virtue and values, I think it's important. No, I'm an emoji. Okay, cool. Okay. It's important that we remember that these principles everything starts internally. Like I talked to y'all yesterday about the Nguza Saba. It all starts internally. It does not work. If you are, So, Navita, you are an emoji. And the name for that is Ajwa. Alright, so it's my day. Stop trying to steal my day. It's my day. Alright, so, me and Gina G. Right? I'm just trying to move my computer a little bit, see if I get a little bit more light on the screen for y'all because I'm looking like a shadow, which I don't mind, right? I really don't mind. I love this black skin. The black skin that I'm in, I love it. But there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so remember these cultural, these virtues, right? Because this is where they get you. This is where they get us, right? Well, you know, you got to practice these with everybody. I'm like, all right. You practicing with yours first. All right? I know that's harsh, but this is coming straight from the journey, family. These principles are no good if they are not operating internally first, right? So we have to make sure we're operating within ourselves, we're operating within our family, we're operating with our tribe, right? We're operating within our city, we're operating with our nation. Everything has a step. And a lot of times we want to jump. We want to become universal, right? And the universality is a beautiful thing, right? But you got to, before you become universal, hell, before you become galactic, hell, before you become solar system-wide, hell, before you become planet-wide, right? You got to take care of the smaller steps. And a lot of times we want to jump over the steps. We've been taught to jump over the steps. And in some form or fashion, we have been bred, in many cases. I ain't going to say that because I just was thinking about something last night and I got mad. I was watching Luke Cage last night, and right now during the series, I am almost done. But right now, there's a drastic shift with all of the characters. The female lead is the bad lady supposedly is making a total shift, and her dude is making a total shift, and then the bad guy of the series it appears to be making a total shift, and Luke Cage is shifting, and it's like the view that the audience is receiving is changing. Mariah, well, I won't say I won't agree with that, right? This is why I won't agree with that. Mariah is what her environment provided, and because of how she was found at a certain time, during that crucial time when she killed her cousin or her brother or whoever he was, when she was found and who found her kind of determined the path that she was walking, because she was never a murderer. You know what I'm saying? She might have had people, but she never had to do it herself. And that kind of, when you actually put your hands and the blood is on you, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing, right? She became something different at that point in time. She was initiated into the life for real. She was able to be a spectator in the life before. Now she was initiated into that life for real. But I was looking at that, and this whole money culture that we got going on, this whole money worship culture that we have been, in a sense, initiated into. So we have two aspects, right? We have the selfless aspect, which means that we give of ourselves, especially outside of us. So we trust everybody, and we got this selfless piece going on. But then on the other end, on the other side of that spectrum, and which is also very detrimental to it, because this whole this selflessness shit, it hinders us just as much as the other side, the get money side, hinders us, right? One gives themselves away without requiring anything, and the other sells themselves at any price, right? No, I ain't gonna say any price. The price, see, because for me, the issue is being willing to sell yourself, right? Fuck the price. It's like, because if you can be bought, you are dangerous to the movement. If you can be bought. So those niggas that be talking about money over everything, you better get your money. No matter how you get your money. You know what I'm saying? I came through that whole phase. And then when I really started looking at what we were saying, and I was looking at how we was being taught, we was taught to be anti-us. Because everything was on the auction block. Everything could be justified. everything, which becomes detrimental, which becomes damaging to the movement. So on one hand, we're giving away everything, we're making ourselves universal. You're making yourself universal, which is basically slave psychology. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, boom, you're a servant to everybody. You're here to be used. So, you know, you might as well be comfortable with it. You might as well be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to happen. So you might as well go and be universal. So let's find a reason to justify us being universal. So we find religions and stuff that allows us to be universal. We find spiritualities that say truth, justice, righteousness, and we take that shit to the extreme. We go straight universal rather than working out from where we are through our families, through our tribes, through our communities, through our city, through our states, through our countries, right? Through our planet, through our solar system. You know what I'm saying? Through our galaxy, and then we become universal. Now we want to jump straight to universal, and it's all is love. Love is the major thing, and we're all unified and just going to give, and I'm going to forgive. Or we move to the other end of that. I gotta get money. It's about money. Don't matter what you do, as long as you get that bread. Money. A lot of shit come from the big cities and shit, and infecting everybody with that bullshit. But I'm seeing that shit in conflict or do with this Luke Cage shit, right? Because you know, at first Luke Cage is willing to just be out there and do his thing, but he's starving. He bulletproof, but shit, you can starve to death, nigga. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. So he giving himself away for free, right? And then all of a sudden he need money real bad. So it's like, boom, he willing to sell himself. But I ain't gonna ruin the series for you. He ain't do nothing silly. He ain't do nothing illegal, but he was still up for sale. You know what I'm saying? But Mariah is, here we go. All right, here we go. Anavita. Fair enough, Howard Cornell did everything in his power to give her that good life, and she just could not handle certain words such as Black Mariah. See, now it wasn't just the word, the Black Mariah. You got to understand what the words open up. And I understand that. Now you got to understand when she came up, right? Because Black Mariah, for you, or for some of us, might not be a major issue. But when motherfuckers back in the day used to be able to do that shit, I'm talking about, listen, from a black dude, right, who made it through the time before Wesley Snipes and shit like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Who had to fight about that shit. That shit really fucked you up because motherfuckers really made you feel like you wasn't supposed to exist, or your existence was cursed because of your complexion. And I mean, people talk about, you know, people was coming up with all these positive things, but everybody wasn't feeling that shit. So black, when motherfuckers called you black, like the Black Mariahs or the Black OJs or those people that know that shit, at that point in time, that shit was not cute. That shit was not a proud thing. And we want to erase that shit. Like we want to erase slavery. We want to erase that shit like that shit didn't exist. At one point in time, motherfuckers could call you that shit, and it didn't matter who was in the motherfucking room. Somebody was getting fucked up. Now, I want to say that. So Black Mariah, if you look at the story, Black Mariah was connected to her molestation. See, because somebody used the fact that everybody else looked at her like that and became real nice with her, became real sweet with her, and then started taking advantage of her. So Black Mariah opened up the door for somebody to molest her. And then for people to turn around and tell her, you probably want that shit anyway. Being a man, that shit would make me crazy too. I would be a murderer too. Not only was she called Black Mariah, but that Black Mariah, that whole idea open her up in her moment of weakness to accept niceties, to accept. And our ancestors teach this. This is why our ancestor wisdom is good. Learn the difference between a gift and a bribe. She thought she was receiving a gift, but she was actually receiving a bribe. And this motherfucker started sneaking up to her, started raping her, impregnated her, as you finding out in this series, and you start to understand a little bit more, not to justify where she was. And in a sense, you can justify where she was and justify the craziness. Because for the first time in her life, she was able to, in a sense, fight back for herself. And let me tell you something. If you have never been in that situation, in any form or fashion, you'll never understand. See, because let me tell you, once I found out that I was able to stand up for myself, that shit felt good. And could have easily been pushed to a whole nother level. Easily. That shit feels good. That you could walk in a room and not have to worry about nobody saying shit about your complexion or being disrespectful. Luckily, I was embraced by some older people who was able to let me understand why I was feeling like I was feeling. She didn't have that. She had a family of gangsters, a family of molesters, a family of violent family. Fortunately, I didn't have that. You understand what I'm saying? But let me go back. Fair enough. Come did everything in his part. Mariah's a murder. I ain't watching that shit. Just tell me what happened. I ain't telling. I get it, brother. However, she has said far worse things to other people, and they never felt any way about it. I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? I could dig it. But now let me say this, and I'm done with it. What could she say to compare to Black Mariah? And actually, that's what developed. She developed that mechanism. Like I said, once you start learning how to fight back, that shit is contagious. That shit is like a virus. Look at how she treated Bushmaster, Comanche, Candace. Yeah. Now, just because you abuse don't make you. I ain't saying I like her. Well, I kind of do. I kind of like her. But I'm just saying. I mean, because like I said, the PC is being able to look at everything from everybody's angle, and that's one of the best parts about this whole series, because you get to look. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power of myth. You get to put yourself in all the different parts. Like when I'm reading this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just Heru. I get to read from Set's perspective. I'm looking at Set's piece. Like I'm one of the ones that told y'all that shit. Set had a legit argument. Shit. I mean, if you really back up and look at it, and you stop being a Heru stan, you can look and see like shit. Set actually had a legit argument. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you ain't on that, so you are shade 2.0 then. Nah. Fortunately, the killer ain't dead. You understand what I'm saying? The killer for that type of shit ain't there. It ain't there. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate enough to be snatched up. I was fortunate enough to be raised in a way, as you know what I'm saying, raised in a way that protects myself and other people. You know what I'm saying? Protects those weaker than me. You understand what I'm saying? So you did say that I like her. Yeah, I like shit. I like Mariah. I like Mariah. I like Black Mariah. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Because I understand. Right? I ain't saying, having a relationship with a woman that could have you, that wouldn't mind killing you. It's one thing to want to kill you. It's another thing just being able to do that shit. Nah, Even though some of y'all out there can't do that shit. And think about it often. Y'all ain't gonna move on it. She move on it, right? So, especially after she was initiated into the blood cult, right? All right, but how we get on that? I'm just saying. I stayed up, I watched it, wasn't able to get up. But let's go and get this toast done. I'm gonna drink this water. We need some water music. Let's get some water music on. Let's see. I still haven't extended my track playlist. So I apologize for that. Let's see. Let's go do Triumph real quick. This is a track by Brother Shaka, which is going to allow me to drink some water, if I can get it. Mouse and Phyllis Jones. You did say that you like her. See, yeah. So, and Brother Kwame is bringing up Mouse. So Mouse is a character we really need to look at too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's like, see, because every culture needs killers. And I know some people don't want to hear that shit. Every culture needs killers. We need a motherfucker that can walk up in a room and everybody just like, shut the fuck up. Right? So, I mean, because it's like, you got to be multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? Because, and people be like, Brother Hatim, how can you say that? You know what I'm saying? Brother Hatim, how can you say that? Please, explain to me. If every culture don't need killers, explain special forces to me. If you don't mind. Explain Navy SEALs to me, if you don't mind. What else are they? You know what I'm saying? I mean, every culture needs them. If we go back all the way to ancient Kemet, you know what I'm saying? We had military. And I'm quite sure in the military we had that crack force that handled business. Hell, reading the Bible, David had his mighty men. Every culture needs that, because those are the defenders regardless. Now what we've been getting killers who have been defending other people's cultures. So a lot of time those that are gangsters are imitating other cultures, which means that they are not for us, which makes them very, very dangerous. They can be bought. They are mercenaries. We have mercenaries in our communities. We don't have warriors. See, because now, and when I say killers, I need you to understand, those are the trained warriors who are prepared to protect the culture regardless of where, when, or how. Not mercenaries that can be bought. And next thing you know, they're standing at your doorstep. Alright? So, let's go and drink this water. I'm not familiar with Phyllis Jones. Can you tell us a little bit about Phyllis Jones? Look how she treated Bushmaster, Comanche, and Candace. Candace is very difficult herself, right? I'm just saying. Are you talking about the one with the electronic arm? She got a mouth on her. But if you don't like the character, you have to admit that Alfre Woodard is playing the shit out that role. I'm just saying. Oh, my fault. That's not Shaka. That's one of my. That is Shaka. Check out No, I don't use that for them. I use another one for them. That is the beginning of my show. One of my shows. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna check out Phyllis Jones. You say he is another Walter Mosley character who is for a bookstore owner, Paris, as Mouse is for Easy Rollins. And now that motif right there that you're talking about, you also see that in The Godfather. You know what I'm saying? That's a common motif where an individual, and you could chase that all the way back to the Bible, because David had what was David's mouse name? If you look in there, Solomon had one. Kings often have those individuals that don't mind defending, right? So Easy had Mouse. He called Mouse. Mouse be like, "I'm on my way, cousin." Right? Paris had Phyllis Jones. Get out there, handle that business. And in every culture and in every crew, you got to have it. You got to have it. Right? It's very important. So let's go and do these. Let's do this toast. I got to pull out. Once again, we only got a little bit. I won't be able to brew until possibly Kaumba. But boy, do I have some mixes for y'all. And I'm going to get some honey. Yep. 24 pounds, man. 24 pounds going to be on deck. I ain't playing. I'm not playing. Alright? And in some cases, I've been blessed enough to have some of those characters in my life, you know. A mouse. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming, cousin. You know what I'm saying? You know. And if you have had those individuals in your life, those true individuals, you know, you understand the importance of somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you end up in those type of situations. We all need a cousin Ray Ray every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like I said, you gotta show Ray Ray some love. You know what I'm saying? You don't just call them. You know, like some of your relatives, they only want to call them when they want them to go to jail. They don't want the other shit they don't want to deal with. You gotta help Ray Ray through some of his personal issues sometime. You understand what I'm saying? And not just use Ray Ray. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Ray Ray don't care about going to jail. Ray Ray don't care about that other person's life. Ray Ray don't care. But you got to be able to help Ray Ray. You know, some people just want to use him. So let's lift up our glass. We call him creator by whatever name we choose to call it, creator. Right? We lift up our glass and we salute that creator. Right? The first ancestor. Right? The source of all of us. Right? Lift up that glass and we say, Ashe. And then we get to, without any further ado, those whose shoulders we stand upon. We got new people coming in, like every 2 weeks now. I want to thank y'all, and the shirts will be available. I'm trying to let y'all know. Here we go. Miles Brown, Ms. Ann, Robert Tex, Anna Davis, Herman Brown, Senior, Rosalie, Tilly, Georgia, William, Walter, Christopher, Annie Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pittman, L, Nomo X, Sapet Mile Ra, Malika Fakua, Dr. Marion Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Algeny, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Actor Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Danielle Pulliam, the Luxter Brothers, Miss Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kell Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Natalie Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rendelman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Well, Levita Farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sher Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza, Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bolden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Wells, James Farmer, May Jabez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinier, Elder Amitet Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas Alula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Charles Walker Sr., Charles Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Irving, Ron Phillips, William Ford Jr., Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Arabin, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Baba Naeem, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., John Dewey, and Ruth Beard, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Liddy Green, Nathan Green, Beth Vaughn, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Rome Alls, Henry West, Stanton, Joel, Jamel Alls, Miss Vanilla, Albus Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earleton Houston, Albert Moore, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nana Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Vivian Stevenson, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Doretha Ross, Viola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Lester and Rachel Saunders, John Bowie, Alex Nixon, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Kate, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Becker, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Void Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Torre, Emma McClendon, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaneko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Jennifer Sensabaugh, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Charles Lee Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., William Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Phyllis Lee, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, and Winifred Scantleberry. Oh, so y'all cracking on my glass. It's all Shaka's fault. He started the glass wars. So, hopefully he won't try to go bigger. Because I'm willing. You know, we always got the nuclear option. You know. Alright, so We lift up our glass to those ancestors and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move to the present moment. And of course, y'all know I got to play my scene.
Damn, Mom, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
What?
There is no tomorrow.
What?
There is no tomorrow.
What? There is no tomorrow. There's only today. There's only today, family. And we wake up in the day. We wake up today. Never wake up tomorrow. We never wake up yesterday. All we got is today. So all I'm saying is, family, we need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can in this day to move us one step closer to our ultimate goal. So we lift up our glass to this moment because we know that what we do in this moment affects everything that's coming after it, even though this moment is eternal. Right? So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there we move to our future generations. Right? We salute our children, our children's children, onto infinity. Right? We send out that positive energy. We send out that nation-building energy. We send out the future that we want for them by working in the moment to create it. And we say Ashe, because what is for us does not have to be for them. We can decide on the future that we want to pass on to them. We can start working towards that today. So we lift up that glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? Of course, we go to all of our relations. So we lift up, this damn thing getting heavy. We lift up. We lift up to all of our relations and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move to selfish libation. Take a moment for yourself. I know some things that you need out there. Go ahead. Toast. Take that breath. You by yourself, say it. You know what I'm saying? If not, think it. Because we all got some stuff. Alright. So, cause I got some stuff. Actually, I got some stuff. We all got stuff, but one of my daughters got some stuff, and I'm lifting up my glass for her. Hopefully she getting that selfish libation, and I'm using some of my selfish energy, send it over there. Alright? So we lift up and we say Ashe. From there, family, what we do? We move to the most powerful being in the room, and that's you. I toast each and every last one of y'all, and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Alright, we lift up that glass and we sip. I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years, family. Because I got to still do my workout because I'm on that 21 day. Very flat. Very flat. I can't wait to bottle some of this up. I'm going to bottle up a few bottles of this Chrysanthemum. And I'm going to see what happens. Where's your tadpole? That's a fishbowl, Shaka. Whatever. You see the tadpoles swimming around in there? We gangsters up here. You know what I'm saying? We those warriors. I'm going to swallow a couple of tadpoles. For the movement. All right, family. This is Brother Hatim. I am out. Peace out, Facebook. Oh, before I go. Shouts out to all the ladies of the Simpson Nation that's up there doing your thing. Send shouts out to you. We ask that the ancestors be with y'all as well. We out. All right, family. This is Brother Hatim. All right, Spreaker. We out. I gotta go do this workout. Hit this run real quick.